Welcome back. I did not expect to add more to the EIK example project, but here we are. We will create custom invites to invite epic friends to our lobby or game match. First, we need a UI. I will not comment on this part, as it's straightforward. In this project, we will continue to use a common UI, but it can simply be a general widget. We will need a widget to construct a friend entry in the friend list that we will be getting from the player's account. Now we can add the invite logic, which is very simple for the invite button. But first, let's finish constructing the friend entry with its data. We can do that on event construct, then widget is constructed. Now, the only thing we need to do is set that variable to be exposed on spawn so we can input the data before we create the widget. You also need to set it to be instance editable. Now we can create the invite button logic, which consists of just one node called send session invite. We will handle the callback for receiving invites in another place. Here we have just sent our friend the invite. Make sure to promote the friend ID to a variable and expose it on spawn so we can transfer data to this widget upon creation. I like to add print strings for debugging purposes. It's a good habit to have. This should be it for the friend entry widget. Now let's create a widget to hold all friend entries. Don't forget to make scroll box a variable. Time to add the friend list widget to our lobby widget. Create a button to open the friend list. I will just duplicate one of the existing buttons. Add friend list widget to overlay. Make sure to set it to collapsed so it doesn't appear right away on the screen. Now we can start implementing the logic to construct our friend list when the button is clicked. First, let's get our friends using the Get Friend List node. Get the length of the friend list array to ensure we have friends to add to the list. Now we need to get our friend list widget and make it visible if we have friends to add to the list. We should also clear any previously added friends to refresh the list. Now we can loop through the friend list, construct widgets for each friend, and add them to the friend list. Break array element of the friends array to access all available data for each friend. The display name will be the friend's Epic account username. For the online status, add a select node to choose the text depending on the Boolean value. And user ID is our friend's ID. All that's left is to add the constructed widget to the friend list widget scroll box. This is it for creating the friend list. We can now test it to see if everything works fine. And it works, as it shows my account as a friend in my testing account. Now we need to make widget for invitation receive to show to our friend UI information that he got invited to play a game and who invited him. Make sure you set this text block as variable. Now that the UI design part is done, we can move on to implementing the logic to construct data for this custom invite. But before that, let's create a callback for the invite received to see what data we're getting from it. We do it in our game instance class. Find an empty spot and add the event init to the graph. This event triggers when the game instance initializes at game launch. The callback is part of the lobby interface, which can be found by searching for the lobby subsystem. Drag from the lobby interface and look for EOS_lobby_, add notify lobby invite received. Yes, it's a mouthful, but this is the direct EOS SDK function, and the name matches exactly with the EOS documentation for reference. Create a custom event for the callback to have all the data we can utilize to create a custom invite message. Don't rush to connect it to event init, as that way it won't work. Here's a crash course on the game instance class. This class is constructed first, if I'm not mistaken. When this class initializes, the lobby interface may not be initialized yet, so we need to ensure it's valid before doing any bindings. And while it's still invalid, we will implement a delay to check again repeatedly until it becomes valid. Don't worry, this won't create an infinite loop, as it will eventually go to is valid, unless you turn off EIK or remove the configurations. Now let's check the types of the local and target user IDs so we can add those as variables to our custom invite widget. The type for those is the EIK product user ID structure. It's same for target user ID, so you can just duplicate it. Don't forget to expose them on spawn. Also, let's create invite ID also, as we will use it. It's of string type. Now, then this callback for the invite receive trigger, we can construct our custom invite widget to show the user options to accept or reject the invitation. Don't forget to connect pins and add widget to viewport. We can finally construct the widget. There will be extensive use of EOS SDK functions to retrieve the invitee's nickname, and it may seem like voodoo magic. I'm just following the provided example, as utilizing EOS SDK functions is a tough task. In comparison, using EIK nodes is a blessing. So first we need to get EOS_connect_query product user ID mappings. Next, connect the local user ID pin and make a target product user IDs array. Then, add the target user ID as an input. Add EIK connect subsystem to the graph. Drag from it and add EOS_connect_ get product user ID mapping. Connect it to on callback pin. Connect the local user ID variable to the input on the user ID mappings node, and do the same with the target user ID. Now get local user's Epic account ID. Get EOS_user_info_query user info node. After on callback, add EOS_user_info_copy user info node. Connect local user and target user IDs pins. And finally, with all that effort, we can retrieve the username of the friend who is inviting us. Finally, we can connect the display name to set it for our inviter. While it could be more optimized, all of this requires digging through the EOS SDK documentation. Sometimes you just have to go with what works, especially since we're using EIK's simplified nodes for most part. Let's finish it by adding accept and reject buttons using exactly that, a simple EIK node called accept EIK session invite. Connect the invite ID to the invite ID input pin. For the local user ID, break our local user ID structure and connect it accordingly. Do the same for the inviter user ID with the target user ID. And that's it for that. Compared to EOS SDK implementations, it's a breeze. I personally will add debug prints just to know if all works. Now add reject button. Here we add another EIK node called reject EIK session invite. Connect invite ID and local user ID for inputs. I'll copy and edit the debug prints from the previous button. Also, for the reject button, add a remove from parent node to remove the widget from the screen when the reject button is pressed. Custom invite is completed. The only thing left is to add a callback for when the client presses the accept invite button to move him to session. We will add it to the game instance. First, add the EIK subsystem to the graph. Drag from it and write assign will be the only callback available to add. Here it's simple. We just add join EIK session node. Callback events type not match with session to join structure. We will have to make it. Debug prints will always be useful if things go wrong. Everything seems to be completed. It's time to test it. The best way is to use dev tools to test with multiple Epic accounts. I previously made a video on how to set it up. Dev tools automatically logged in my accounts. So let's create a session with one of them and invite the other account to that lobby. Ooh, we made some formatting mistakes with the custom invite. But as you can see, it does work and shows Linksma Studio for the user who sent the invite. Let's accept it. And we're in. Successfully joined the session. Let's quickly fix formatting mistake. And one last time, let's send invite, and this time reject it. This is a showcase of the base implementation. You can, of course, polish it to your liking, but this is a functioning example for custom invites. And as a final reminder, you will only see friends who have logged into your game at least once. That's it for this tutorial. Take care.